Seeker. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How's it going, friend? My name is Talia Joy. Welcome to my cozy corner of the internet. Pull up a beanbag chair, bring a yoga mat. Please bring your coffee, your tea, your matcha, whatever you've got going on today. Today we are talking about being an old soul, what it means to be an old soul. If you have that sense, if you have that already knowing of what an old soul is, or maybe you're just tiptoeing like, I think I am. Let's see if I am. This is a perfect episode for you. We're going to talk deep about what it means to be an old soul, and we're also going to talk on how you can fulfill your personal purpose. And when I say purpose, I mean why you are here, like the reason you're here, learning what you came here to learn, doing what you came here to do, and really just going to jam out all about that. So I'm really excited to dive into this episode. Thank you so much for being the type of seeker that allows me to express and to go to these really deep places, because this stuff is so important. I really believe in teaching the to-dos, right? The tangible practices, the, definitions of what is a trigger or what is your intuition, and this is how you practice it. That is really important. But I also have such a fascination naturally, and it's in my gifts, to have an understanding of how this whole experience works. And to me, when I can understand the bigger picture, it's really empowering. It's kind of like if maybe you learned your human design type and you're like, oh, that explains so much, or your astrology or whatever, and you go like, holy crap. It basically defines what you already felt deep down and just helps you make sense of it. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm like, I'm an empath. So I know that I don't want to go to this place, or I need to cleanse my energy, or, that's why I got overwhelmed and overstimulated. It's like, oh yeah, I'm also an HSP. So sometimes I have to really be aware of like, what is that irritation? Oh, it's stimulation, because I know myself, right? So being an old soul and learning about what an old soul is on deeper levels really helps you to understand yourself. So I'm so happy you're here. Before we dive in, I wanted to let you know that I do have a second podcast, which is all about the tangible. It's all about how to do the work. It is called On the Path. It's a private subscription community, so you won't see it on your app until you register, and then it'll be on any of your podcast apps that you choose to use it on. And you can check the link below. It's a private community. It's only $27 a month. Every single week, I'm bringing you an assignment. I'm bringing you deep dive episodes. We do monthly challenges. There's one on the chakras starting July 1st. From 1st to 7th, we go through each chakra for 7 days, and it's going to be a training, but also an activation and a clearing on the spot. So it's going to be so powerful. We do these monthly challenges. We've done ones in the past of money manifestation, body love, all sorts of things, all geared to move you forward. You get access to everything when you join. And it also includes my entire methodology from beginning to end, the process of manifestation in a perfect audio format that you already know you like to listen to. So if you're looking to really take the work more tangible and answer, what do I do to move forward, to grow, to manifest? That's the answer. It's called On the Path, and it is below. You can check it out. Also, come follow me over on Instagram. I'm having lots of fun over there these days, all the reels and the stories. I just love to get to know you. So you can come over there for the more day-to-day stuff. And that's about it. Let's dive in. So first and foremost, we are going to talk about defining an old soul. Obviously, we hear this like, oh, that baby looks like an old soul. Or maybe there's a child that's really wise and maybe calm. It's like, wow, are they an old soul? Or maybe you were told or felt like an old soul, like you've got some wisdom to you. Maybe some people you just get a sense. And so that's what we're going to talk about first and foremost, is what is this? So as a soul, and first of all, before we get in, I am not the person that sits on a kind of pedestal and is like, let me tell you the way this all works. What I am doing is I'm translating from my channel what what I, Talia, have learned over all the years doing this through my spiritual development in my own personal experiences through my own channel, plus also studying the works of people like Wayne Dyer and really getting to know this stuff. I love, if you're looking for books, Ainsley MacLeod is his name. And he writes on, there's a book called The Old Soul's Handbook or Guidebook. There's also one called The Instruction. He is amazing. There's podcasts where he's been on, Ainsley MacLeod, and he's great, incredible for talking about the soul growth and the soul stages and what it means to be at different stages and the characteristics. It's really fascinating. So when I speak, I'm not trying to tell you how God works or how the universe works from just my personal opinion. I'm trying to show a spiritual perspective. And if something doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine. Totally fine. I'm not coming here with my ego. I'm sharing my perspective and what I know to be true. You can take and pick and choose what feels right for you and develop your understanding and your path. So first wanted to say that. So as a human, we also have a soul. And I like to look at it like the ground, the earth, the physical is the human, and God, source, universe, creator of it all, life force, physics, energy is the highest form, like one consciousness is the highest form. Our soul is between the two. Our soul is the God part of us that is individual for us. So our soul is a higher part of us. Our soul is the part of us that is directly linked to spirit without the ego, without the fear, without the human gunk, right? Our soul also is a bigger perspective. So you know how time is weird when you scope way out? So if you were to look on like a timeline, you could zoom into like today and you could look at like 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., but then you could zoom out and go like today, zoom out and see the week. Then you could zoom out and see the month. You could zoom out and see the year. It's all kind of perspective. So the soul is a bigger perspective on us, a more zoomed out perspective. So in the way that a physical human has days, a soul has lifetimes. And so what for us is like a day, like a blip, right? Our soul is an entire lifetime. So it's had many, many lifetimes. The way that we, in this singular experience here, you as your name, me as Talia, I have had many days. Your soul has had many lives. So there are actually so many parallels because old and young do have certain characteristics, right? Like a young human, a toddler, could be like kind of clumsy and fall over, and maybe a baby deer does the same thing because there are characteristics when it comes to old and young. So old souls are souls that have had a lot of lifetimes. And we're not going to go even like this can go forever because for me personally, not all my lifetimes have been on earth. That's a whole other thing. But it's about living a lot of lifetimes, whether they've been on earth or elsewhere or whatever. You have done this hundreds, if not thousands of times. It's really hard to quantify it into numbers. Whenever I ask, they just show me like more than hundreds, if that makes sense. So you have all these lifetimes. And as you go through, you grow. And the same way as in every day you're learning, whether you lie and get caught and you learn when you're a kid, or you trip and fall and you learn, or you make a bad investment and you learn, or you ignore your intuition and you learn, you are always learning. And kids have just a smaller perspective. They don't quite overall have that larger perspective. Like my toddler has, or he's 4, so he's not really a toddler, but he has no perspective on like property taxes or the pressures of, politics or whatever. It's because he's all in his world. So we literally are what we are, and there's nothing wrong with it. My child shouldn't know about politics, thank goodness. My child shouldn't have the awareness, the emotional intelligence that I have or my husband has because he's 4, right? So we are what we are, and there's really no better or worse. So if you are an old soul that's going around being like, oh, all you younger souls, oh, I'm so old, chances are you're not actually an old soul. I hate to call someone out there. We realize as we grow that everybody is what they are, and especially with soul ages, when people have certain personalities. So for example, the people that will never find, spiritual development in this work or in this lifetime, or the people that in your life that are very stuck in the 3D, they think they're really right and everyone else is wrong and they're not self-aware, right? Those types of people are younger souls, and chances are in this lifetime, they're not going to become as self-aware as you may be. They're not going to become empaths all of a sudden. They're not going to maybe turn into intuitive development. It's just not what they're going to do. And that's okay. So often, especially with this generation, if you're sort of around my age, it's like we can be older souls than our parents. So sometimes our parents maybe struggled with the same shit over and over, maybe even addiction, or they didn't quote unquote get it together, or maybe they struggled in some sort of way or stayed angry or stayed resentful or stuck in their ways. And they're not going to be at the same spiritual retreats you are or reading the same books. You may be an older soul than your parents. So it's fascinating because obviously it has nothing to do with your age here right now. You're an old soul when you come into this lifetime. When you were 6, you were an old soul. When you were 12, when you're, however old you are now, of course, you're an old soul. So an old soul is a soul that has had a lot of lifetimes. And over those lifetimes, you have learned. You have done everything. You have been one of almost everything, meaning you've been a man several times, you've been a woman several times, you've been somebody that died of addiction, you've been somebody that died alone, you've been somebody that died happy and fulfilled, you've been somebody that was maybe burned like a witch. We talk about these things like the witch wounds. You've lived one of everything. You've been wildly abundant and took advantage of that power. You've probably been a king or a queen or whatever many times. You've been a slave. You've been all of it. And the best way I can describe why this is and why this happens is that we're going to go real deep for a second. We are Source experiencing itself. Source is all of us. Every tree, every blade of grass, every human, we are spirit. Spirit created us, whether that's a masculine or a feminine or universe or God. We are created of the earth, of the cosmos. And we are, in my perspective, God experiencing itself, because in the non-physical, there is no taste, there is no sunset, there is no sitting enjoying a laugh with a friend when your belly is full of really good food. It's pure love over there, which is amazing, but it's all high frequency all the time. Basically, of course, there are such things as like stuck energies or whatever, but it's all love, it's all gravy, which is its own multifaceted experience. But when we come down here and get locked into the 3D for a bit, we do have senses and we have heartbreak and we have dreams and aspirations and we have achievements and we have highs and lows. And spirit wants to experience that. It's like experiencing the fullness of life. From the grief to the gratitude, from the, abundance to the scarcity, it's experiencing it all. So you've been one of everything, basically. And in this lifetime, you have come with some big mission and purpose on your heart. This is to do, I know this for a lot of reasons, to do where we are in actual history. The earth needs us. I'm going to get to this in a minute. The earth, the people on earth are younger souls. It's not a dominantly old soul earth at this point. That's why we have so much war and power struggle and, all this stuff, but it is being dismantled and we are shifting and there are changes afoot, if that makes sense. There is room for change. So you're part of that. You chose to come in this century as part of an awakening that is going on Earth. I don't know if in my lifetime we're all going to be in nirvana, but we have a very important role in the bigger picture of Earth going through a cycle of coming back to the light. So in this lifetime, now that you've been everything and you've known what it feels like to not get your shit together, you've known what it feels like to not heal, to die with a heavy heart or in some sort of dysfunction, you've done it all. And this lifetime, you really came here with the intention, something along the lines of mastering the art of transformation. The old soul gets to a point where it's like, enough. I've experienced the sugar and the sour. I've experienced the ups and the downs. And now I'm coming to find myself, to remember more of myself and really, almost in some ways, fully transform. So I want to say right now, whether we do or do not fully transform in this lifetime, it's okay either way. Source doesn't judge you. Your soul doesn't judge you, but it does have an intention. It hopes you turn on your light in this lifetime. And that's why you have always been drawn to self-development, or now you are drawn spirituality, something deeper. You may be an empath. You might be really, feel like a natural healer or intuitive or light worker, or someone who's here for big things, somebody that is so fascinated with personal growth and transformation and being your personal best and finding alignment and activating your intuition and all these things, living your purpose. The reason you're drawn to this is because that's exactly what you're meant to do in this lifetime. And in that, it sounds super glamorous, but it also is a big path to walk. I was going to say a big load to carry. You might have felt that, but it's not a load to carry. It's a dynamic path to navigate. We have to remain focused on ourselves, not in a selfish way, but in a vibration way, in a learning how to love ourselves, learning how to know thyself, learning how to nurture yourself into your goals and visions, continuing with self-development, continuing to realize that the problems you have, the struggles, the anguish, the lack of money, or the lack of whatever it is that you're going through, it is move throughable, and there is something big here for you to learn. I know with my chronic pain, there's something big for me to learn, and I'm on that journey. I know with like finances and money was never easy. I know that was a big journey of me finding my self-worth. Having this business is like the best personal development program I could ever have asked for. Being up to being a mentor, a light for others. It's huge. Everything are these deep lessons. So it's not easy being an old soul. And in some ways, we feel like we don't fit. We feel like we don't belong here, or like we're not meant for this world. But we also have this deep medicine that the world needs. So our overall purpose as an old soul is to come here, is to evolve, is to learn those deep lessons, to transform. And what starts to happen as we do that is we start to remember more of ourselves, as I say. We start to become more inspired in spirit, and we do good in the world. Whether you have a business or not, you light up people around you. Your bestie is asking you what you've been doing differently. Your sister's like, oh my goodness, I see such a change. You've inspired me to meditate or to work out or to do inner child work or whatever it is. Your clients start to learn more. The more I evolve, the more my clients evolve. People around you in your community, your children, they get to know better and learn better quicker than you did. So literally, as you come here to be an old soul, your ancestors heal. You help the future, whether you have children or not, a business or not. Who you be lights up others around you. So you're not even just doing the work for you. As an old soul, you're actually meant to come here to be a lighthouse on earth, to be a lighthouse that has a unique light to shine. Whether it's, bringing lasagnas over to people and nurturing people through food and generosity, or being that empath with incredible guidance. Or maybe you have methodologies and teachings that run through you about self-growth, or some unique thing that you teach in this world, something you're passionate about. Maybe you have an intuitive channel, or you have a knack for something. We did the purpose episode a few ago, and we're about to do Purpose Uncovered next week, so it'll go much deeper into that stuff. But the essence of being an old soul is that you came here for transformation. You came here to evolve, to remember more of who you truly are, to turn on your light, and then naturally light up the world around you. This earth, as I mentioned, needs help right now. This earth needs light. We need more empathy. We need more compassion. We need more emotional release. We need more being in touch with our feminine and our masculine and, blending the two. We need more nutrition. We need to be more connected to the earth. We need to know who we truly are. People need to learn to love themselves. There's so much that we need right now in this awakening, and your medicine is in there. Whether it's for your friends, your family, the people you already help without even trying, your clients. Like literally, I know that my investment in my transformation, whether that's time spent on my yoga mat, deep in journaling, taking courses, my own self-work, it directly helps my clients. It directly helps my children. It directly helps my husband. It directly makes my content more potent. All the ways you want to look at it, it ripples out. I don't just do the work for me. I'm doing it for everybody and for me, for my soul. So to bring this kind of down to earth, you have gifts to share, and through your transformation, you unlock them. So through the softening, through the healing, through the learning how to show up for yourself, that is where your biggest gifts are. So you came here with 1 or 2 big lessons to learn. And then if you're like me, a shit ton of micro lessons. But for me, it's healing abandonment. It's learning to have my own back, to be the one that shows up for myself, even when it felt like in life, other people were not. Based on what you've been through in your life, it gave you some quote unquote bigger issues or insecurities or wounds. It's trauma, it's wounds. And so as we reconcile that, as we grow from that, as we heal through that and remember who we truly are and where our power truly is, we transform our own lives. We take the power back into our own hands. So for me, dealing with abandonment taught me that I wasn't worthy, and taught me not to trust people, and taught me to isolate, and taught me to be a lone wolf, and taught me to self-sabotage, and taught me to hate my body and be in an eating disorder for over a decade. And as I slowly but surely bring back the pieces of me and heal those wounds, I transform. And as I transform, my power comes out. As you learn what you came here to learn, everything changes. You don't have to carry out the same patterns. That's when it's way easier to manifest success, manifest abundance, be a clear channel for love and health and vitality, because you're learning the lessons. So as an old soul, you came here to learn some pretty big lessons. That's why you're drawn to self-development. As you make your way through that, you naturally activate your light. And the ultimate purpose, the ultimate hope for an old soul is that by the time this lifetime is up, you've turned on your light, and that has created a ripple effect, whether it's one person or 100,000 people. That is the whole point, even bigger, is we're turning on everybody. We're taking our candle flame and holding it up against another candle and lighting it. And it doesn't take anything from us. It just magnifies the light. You are that lighthouse, turning on your gifts, turning on your empathy. And if you are in a business, which I know a lot of you are, this is where your juice comes from. This is where your magic comes from. This is where, in a sea of 1,000 people teaching inner child healing, you'll stick out because you're deeply embodied in your own mission. That's when, as a musician, as an artist, you will stick out because you're deeply embodied in your unique gift that is already there. So keep doing your own work. Keep investing that time into yourself. If it's meditation or if it's nutrition or if it's listening to the niggle deep down, to keep doing that growth work, because that is ultimately what you're here to do. That is why it's the center of your life. That's why you're self-aware. That's why you have probably a craving deep down to help others with what you've been through. So many of us want to help others with what we've been through, because that is literally what we're here to do. Whether it's teaching your kids better or helping your neighbors, helping your community, helping other women, helping clients, that is literally what Source hopes you will do. And when you follow that path, if it is a business, the path becomes illuminated. If it is just for you, just for your community, that's the biggest service you could ever do for all of us. We need your laughter. We need your friendship. We need your morals. We need your recipes. We need your dance moves. We need what you are here to give. So never stop doing that. Never stop being that light. And first and foremost, looking after yourself, learning your lessons, doing your own self-work. Okay, love, I feel like that's all I have to say today. I could go on and on. It's 1:11 here. That's awesome. I hope that this served you. If you do want to join Purpose Uncovered, it's happening right here. The episodes will be uploaded to the podcast next week. There's going to be 3 different days of Purpose Uncovered where we're going to really dive into your gifts that you can offer humanity, your soul's intentions for you, your soul's desires, and bringing it together with the intention of looking at how you could impact others, how you can explode your business, how you could create something, how you can already take what you have and amplify it through adding purpose. If you want to officially join us, as I said, you can just listen here next week on the podcast. But if you want to officially join, I will send you workbooks day by day with the notes and some prompts and exercises, and also a powerful meditation called the Aligned Leader Ritual. And this is a powerful 11-minute and 11-second meditation that you can do to really turn on that energy as a leader, be magnetic, spread your message, attract clients, and really make a difference in the world. Love you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. And before we go, I want to ask you a question. Have you grabbed your copy yet of Manifest This Shit? Manifest This Shit is a law of attraction coloring and activity book available on Amazon, and I am so excited about it. It is packed with beautiful, inspiring coloring pages, manifestation practices, tools, places to make notes and lists and write down your intuitive hits. There's so many beautiful pages in there. It's the perfect addition to your daily practice. So whether you use it to pass time instead of being on your phone, or you use it as a creative ritual, this book has pages for everybody. I know you're going to love it. So grab Manifest This Shit on Amazon. The link is below in the show notes.